your decision. Oh, the stove's going to cost me money, or, what the hell did they do? Go over there and look at what they're talking about. Okay? All right. The stove, it could be 10 years old. All right. And they might be tenants who've paid on the first of the month for the last 3 years. All right. Will you accept a used stove? All right. I can go to Scratch and Dent Guy. Again, I have one I'll plug in other videos. Um, and I can have a stove delivered for $300. Solve the problem. Okay? Um, so, keeping a good, positive relationship with your tenants is very important. It takes a lot of work. Now, your bad tenants, get them out fast before they infest the rest of your building. Okay? One common mistake I see is people ignoring bad tenants. All right? And I'm talking about tenants who keep all hours, keep people awake. I'm talking about tenants who don't pay their rent on time, they're always behind. Um, they act like they own the place, all right, when you're not there. And they bother your good paying tenants. You gotta get them out like faster than you can blink. Okay, they're gonna pollute a building, and if you don't go over there all the time, and you don't see it and nip it in the bud, you're gonna have you're gonna lose a good tenant. Okay, and they're not gonna tell you. They're not gonna tell you why, because they live there and you don't. All right, they're just gonna say, "Hey, I'm moving out," and you're gonna go, "But Mrs. Smith, you've been a great tenant." They're just gonna say, "Yeah, it's time for me to move on." Then you're gonna go over there to take the key, and you're gonna hear music through the floor. You're gonna knock on the door, and they're gonna tell you to, yeah, it's a free country. Okay, I think you see where I'm going with this. Bad tenants there's no room for them. You got to get them out legally and fast. So, you want the calls. You want the positive calls. Hey, I'm just starting to see a stain on my ceiling in the bathroom. And because you're such a great, fabulous landlord, I need, I want you to, come take a look at this. All right. If you haven't been a great, fabulous landlord, they don't want to call you. All right. It could cost you a lot of money. Um, so the objective is to rake in all the guy. Last year, I got a good tenant. Her landlord wasn't fixing a thing. Okay. He was just keeping all of his cash flow and not doing a thing. Well, I moved her in. She's never paid past the 10th, which in Connecticut they have that buffer. Full pays in full. Um, doesn't really. I don't get complaints about her. Um, there you go. I picked up a good one because my competition wasn't doing his job. All right. That's the kind of landlord I want you to be. All right. For yourself and for the people that live in your buildings. All right. Um, don't be afraid to go over there in the beginning and look around, walk through the hallways, see if you could talk with somebody. All right. What's going on here? Everything all right? You want to know, hey, I've had good tenants go south, okay? And it went into the road of they were fine. They were fine for about a year, and it went into noise, foot traffic, and drugs. They were selling drugs out of the place. Was what was suspected. Um, what I did for them was a program you'll hear me talk about again. It's called Cash for Keys. Now, Cash for Keys, you need to sit down at your computer, do about 20 minutes worth of typing, if that, and you just write up a basic letter. You print out 2 copies explaining that we want you to leave. Okay. Um, if you bring your rent current and you keep it current through the next 30, 60, 90 days, however long you want to give them, all right, um, we will give you two, three, four, $500 for moving expenses. Now, before you go thinking that I'm crazy, what's an eviction going to cost you? Evictions are capped in the state of Connecticut about $800. Now, like, again, this is not legal advice. Go see your attorney for 100% legal advice. But the last time I was in court for an eviction, it was about $800. So you got some room, all right? If you get rid of someone for 500 and they cooperate, you're ahead of the game by $300. Now, again, they need to not wreck the place. All right, you need to explain that in the letter, and you need to bring those 2 copies with you. Okay, and go over it with them. Okay, it's not easy. It's not easy, but you got to do it. All right. So I went over there. I explained to them that, look, this is not working out. You need to leave. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to start the eviction process right now because you'll never find another place to live. So that doesn't exactly help you, right? Okay. I'm going to give you back your deposit if you don't break everything. Okay? We're all adults here. I'm also going to give you $200, $300, $400, $500 for moving expenses. Okay? So, in short, if you work with me, you're going to get your deposit back. Let's say that's $800. And you're going to get $400 to move. You're going to get $1,200. All right? And all you have to do is play ball. If you don't work with me, I have your social security number. I know where you work. And I'll go through the eviction process. I have no problem doing it. I will follow up with with a lawsuit, and I'll garnish your wages for the entire rest of your life if I need to, and eventually collect my money. So it's very clear that they choose how this is going to go in the next 30, 60, 90 days. Be nice, keep calm, don't yell, all right? I've had success with that program. People have just up and moved out. I had one lady, in fact, awful tenant. I showed up there to collect the key. Her stuff was out. The place was clean. She was cleaning the freezer, okay, and mopping the kitchen floor. She wanted her $1,200 that bad, okay. Not a thing was broken. I went into that unit. I painted. I chose to do some renovations to get a higher rent, and I actually stuck a woman in there who pays. You just heard me talk about her. She pays before the 10th, full bore. There's never any. I'm gonna owe you $200. Done. And she's been there for a while. That's what you need to turn around. Okay, in every unit, you need to get rid of your bad actors. Okay,